Well, here we are leaving the roundabout.
Getting out of town just in time.
Getting the out of Dodge. I can feel the heat here. This is insane. Holy oh, you can feel the heat.
Not zoomed in.
Holy this is crazy.
I was so scared. There was kids crying, moms crying, trying to get their kids in cars.
There's nothing there. There's nothing left. There's so many homes gone.
You were driving through fire. Almost like driving through hell. All I thought is, dear Lord, if you can get my children safe, then I don't care.
The Fort McMurray fire, a jaw-dropping monster inferno, swallowing neighbourhoods, overwhelming an entire city. Nicknamed the Beast, it devoured everything in its path, enveloping homes within minutes. Nothing stood a chance against its savage power. People are used to wildfires here, but not like this. It quickly became bigger than New York City. Trying to fight it was pointless. The only option was to get out. All 88,000 residents were ordered to run for their lives.
The desperation was unreal. We have one road out, and we were all sent up north. It was very scary. I prayed for our lives, and thank God, He's good, and He saved us.
The next town, 3 hours south of Fort McMurray, is Lac La Biche. This is remote oil sands country. People come here to work. This catastrophe has united them.
Everybody's helping. Everywhere we went, people have asked us, are you safe? Do you need a place to stay? Do you need clothes?
It does seem like an incredibly strong community that's holding each other up at the moment.
It is, yeah. All of Alberta and Canada. I mean, right across Canada, there's things happening for Fort McMurray.
The overwhelming is unbelievable. I've put my name on Facebook, my phone number for gas, for food. I had people calling me 11 o'clock at night. They're stranded on the highway, crying, like just in a big frantic, and you have to calm them down and tell them, you know what, there's free food, there's free gas. Everybody will make sure that you're safe and you're getting to a safe place.
Thousands of evacuees have found sanctuary in Lac La Biche. This recreation centre opened its doors to offer solace and support. Everyone is hugely relieved to have made it out safely, but often with nothing but the clothes on their backs.
You know, everybody on my block lost their home. Everybody I grew up with in that area. It's a small part of Fort McMurray, oldest part of Fort McMurray, but it's decimated. The fire actually decimated that part of the community once, and then the next day it came back again from the other direction and did the rest of the damage.
People were now miles away from the fire that continued to rage out of control. Warm weather and high winds were only fueling it as vast swathes of Alberta burned. Donations flooded in. Water, food, clothing, nappies, shoes, all the essentials that people didn't even have time to think about.
What have the past few days been like for you and your family?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions. We're just trying to get everything we need. We don't know what the future's going to hold for us. We think our house is still standing. My sister-in-law lost her house yesterday to the fire. We're just really thankful to be together as a family. We have all of our families, so we're all together in one area. We're just trying to cope.
It's like something out of a movie you've never seen before in your life. As I was driving through the town, I could see the fire all on one side of the hill where our home and stuff is. And everything was engulfed in flames. There was vehicles, fire, gas stations were gone and hotels was gone. Everything was in flames. It was the worst feeling in the world.
For children, this was all a bit of an adventure. Many of them had no idea that home just wasn't there anymore. Donated toys made this traumatic time a little easier. Dogs and cats were also welcomed to the relief centre for free food and vet care, a sanctuary away from those flames that nothing could have survived. Not everyone managed to get to their pets in time. These animals were left stranded until this group of friends decided to head back into the scorched zone to rescue them.
I think she's kind of scared of men.
More local heroes also went back into danger, this time to save 10 horses that would almost certainly have died.
I've had 7 hours sleep in the last 72.
What do you think would have happened if you'd left them there?
You would have had some horses that perished.
The fire tore through house after empty house. One resident watched remotely as their home was engulfed. The modern world could only monitor as one of civilization's oldest enemies took hold. The bravery of the people whose job it is to stop the fire is unmatched. The area ablaze is some 390,000 acres. Its ferocity requires an intensive air operation. This is one of 15 firefighting helicopters. It's carrying ground crews. They're constantly on standby for what is grueling and dangerous work. They're working alongside 14 air tankers. They're hollowed out passenger planes. Having nothing inside means it can carry 1,750 gallons of fire retardant underneath. That's dropped like a bomb to try and defeat at least some of the flames. The firefighting arsenal includes a range of specialised equipment.
This aircraft is called an air tractor and it holds 800 gallons of water. Once it's dropped that water on a part of the fire, it can then refill from a lake by scooping up water and storing it in this tank for another drop. One of the pilots was telling me that they can fly along the flank of the fire for 10 to 15 minutes, which gives you a sense of just how big it is.
It's a job that will go on for weeks. The main aim is making sure the fire stays away from towns and cities like Fort McMurray.
Specific reason, it's the infrastructure of the city. They really have to look.
People are desperate for news that things have turned a corner. Only then can they think about starting again.
We continue to monitor the situation closely with high temperatures and shifting winds changing rapidly, and we continue to urge caution to all evacuees. I'd like to remind folks to keep donating to the Red Cross. The federal government will match individual donations as we all stand together, as Canadians do, for our friends and family in Fort McMurray.
This is what Fort McMurray looks like just over a week on. parts of it simply don't exist anymore. These are the charred remains of the Beacon Hill neighbourhood. Homes have been flattened, photo albums, wedding dresses, so many precious memories reduced to little more than charcoal. Remarkably, most of the town is undamaged.
The fast action and the hard work and the dedication and the smarts of these first responders has, it appears, saved almost 90% of the city of Fort McMurray. I've told we've lost about 2,400 structures. We saved almost 25,000, including the hospital, municipal buildings, and every functioning school.
Residents still aren't allowed through this police cordon around 15 miles south of Fort McMurray. Even though much of the town was saved, people have been warned not to try and get through here. There are still hot spots in the city. You can see the air effort helicopters dumping water on the fires that are still raging. The weather is very much more in their favour now, but they've been told it's going to be weeks, not days, until they can go home.
I've never seen anything like this. I spoke to my colleagues from forestry, and many of the fire conditions and the way the fire behaved, no one's ever seen anything like this. This is rewriting the book, the way this thing happened, the way it travelled, the way it behaved. So they're rewriting their formulas on how fires behaved based on this fire.
The Great Fire of Fort McMurray will go down in history as one of the worst and most costly Canada's ever had to deal with. For its residents, restarting their lives seems a long way off. Looking at these images, perhaps the most amazing thing is that everyone made it out alive.